everybody. I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Genex Thinks. Eli Rain, Oliver Rust, what's up? How's it going this morning? Glad to see y'all here. Glad you could make it. Um, I'll start off this conversation. I've been thinking about some stuff. While I'm at work, I do a lot of manual labor, and I have time to think. I spend time in my head while I'm doing, monotonous tasks a lot of times. And it just hits me that, and I've thought about this before, but um, we have actors and careers like that 5-year-olds actually do at a professional level, right? 5-year-olds can go get on a stage and act and pretend to be whatever. A 5-year-old can get up on a stage and pretend to be a tree or an angel or whatever. And we see it in movies, 5-year-olds doing it, and they look believable, and they're doing it at a professional level. They're getting paid for it. Um, Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin did it. I forget how old he was in that movie, like 7 or 8, some shit like that. Made hundreds of millions of dollars. The movie did. I don't know how much he got paid, but millions. Um, and we see this with athletes too. I mean, I was playing football, out in the street when I was 8 years old. Not at that level, but still, I could do it functionally. Um, but stuff that I couldn't do back then was build a house. I couldn't build a house. I could build a fort, but I couldn't build a house. I couldn't, do open heart surgery. There's a lot of stuff that a 5-year-old just cannot do at a professional level. Uh, so my question is, why do these careers, actors and it's even worse nowadays because we have influencers, right? Who just, I mean, my wife was telling me there's a channel where the people just watch some woman eat, right? I mean, that's all she just eats her food. Uh, and this person's making, good money, just eating and putting a camera, in her face while she eats. To me, this kind of shit's disturbing. You know what I mean? I mean, really, on a fundamental level, for humanity, it's disturbing that that we celebrate idiocy, we celebrate incompetence, we celebrate all this shit, and we raise these figures up as if almost to the level of sainthood. You know what I mean? Like, revere these people, try to get them to write their name on a piece of paper and then go home and frame it and shit. Uh, I know that this is normal behavior to want a star's autograph. I'm not, but to me, I am abnormal because to me that is just really weird behavior. You know what I mean? It's just something I would never even, it wouldn't even cross my mind to run over to somebody and go get their autograph. Um, but and I'm not trying to call anybody out. It's human nature. But it makes me wonder, why is it human nature? Why is it wired into us to celebrate these kind of people? And why do now these actors are making $20 million a movie, uh, you know, and these sports figures making umpteen $1 million a year and shit, and these morons just putting a camera in their face and while they shovel down food. They're making, I don't know how much money they're making, no idea, but a lot, quite a bit, as much as a doctor or a lawyer. Though the lawyers aren't they're a different subject, but they make good money. So yeah, it just that kind of stuff that really messes with my mind. Tripwire, dog karma. What's up? Good morning. Wayne Beatty, what's up? Robert, connecting the rabbit holes. Ezekiel, hey, good morning, everybody. So, but like I said, I'm not calling people out for getting a star's autograph or something. I'm not, trying to talk down to people for doing that, like, stuff like that. That's normal behavior. My question is, why is it normal behavior? What, that's the shit that goes through my head, trying to figure that shit out. Why are we wired that way? Why are we wired to celebrate and lift people up, kings and queens? Why do we want to elevate one person above us and act like they're better? And they're just humans. They're probably shitty humans, to be honest. And you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, well, not a lot, but the few times that I've heard of people who have actually met and talked to a star, say that they're stupid. They're just morons. A lot of them, not all of them. Some of them are probably really intelligent people too. But I've seen a lot of our elected officials here in the United States are just stupid. They're really stupid people. And a lot of our athletes are just dumb as stumps. You know what I mean? Dumber than a bag of hammers. But they can go out there and do something in front of a camera that earns them, 10, $20 million a year. So it's just kind of weird to me, the way our society is set up and what we elevate, and then what we fall to the wayside. I know it's almost cliche to talk about how veterans get shit on, you know what I mean? And I'm not one of those veterans that get shit on. Don't get me wrong. But I see a lot of them. I know a lot of veterans who are having a really hard time. Now you go, take one for your country, go over there and defend your country or fight for your country, and you're forgotten. But if you can go up there and act like a 5-year-old up on a stage in front of a camera, you get millions. It just seems like everything's twisted around backwards. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe my mind is twisted around backwards. Yeah, yeah, Robert. Please show up when you solve your own problems. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Hoping that some of the magic in their lives will rub off on them, Robert. Yeah, maybe that's it. That makes sense. Michelle, what's up? Shannon, what's up? Good morning, y'all. Jeff 7. Good morning, Jeff. Glad y'all could make it. Michelle, yeah, I don't either. Not that I've met many of them, but I I couldn't see myself fawning over another human being. You know what I mean? I just it seemed it would be unnatural to me, to see somebody and wet my pants and want to tell them how wonderful they are and shit. You're just a dude like I am. You're just a dude like I am. Usually they are weird. Yeah, I've heard that a lot too. So well, the supposed Epstein files will tell you that, all those accused of going to Epstein Island. That's evident, not proof yet, because they won't show us the proof, but it's evidence that those some bitches are weird. Shannon, Raziel, what's up? Well, welcome to Slackers Anonymous, Raziel. Yeah, hope y'all had a great Christmas. The gang is here. Yeah. Yeah, Robert, yeah. War is a young man's game, and if you manage to survive, they're going to throw you away and hope you disappear. Yeah. And that's a thing. Another thing, I think, in the past, and that it wasn't even a thing when we were kids. In the distant past, generals and kings and stuff would be on the battlefield. I think that's the way it should be. They should have to be on the president should have to be on that battlefield. If he wants to start a war, he goes to war. You know what I mean? With his troops. If a prime minister wants to start a war, he's got to be on horseback out there, with bullets flying around. If you don't want to do that, don't start the war. Don't go fight. Don't send people to die while you're sitting in a cushy chair in some office some damn where. You know what I mean? And you see very few. I forget the guy's name, but y'all remember that football player? I think he played for the Arizona Cardinals. Damn, I can't remember his name right now, but I think he was a safety for the Arizona Cardinals. And after 9/11, he gave up his multi-million-dollar contract, football contract, and joined the army. He was in the special forces or some shit. Went over there and he died. He died over there in Afghanistan. Uh, so there are people like that. You know what I mean? There are good people who just happen to be, making millions of dollars, but will do the honorable thing, who live an honorable life. So I'm not talking about everyone, but yeah, by and large, uh, these celebrities are really weird people that have no connection to the average person, right? They're disconnected and don't give a shit about the average person, really. Savage Lee, what's up, Savage? Glad to see you here. As long as we go to the box office and sit down in front of the TV and watch the Super Bowl or whatever, other than that, they don't give a shit, you know? Yeah, during Christmas, Ezekiel. Yeah, yeah, we're in the middle of winter and we still have not hot weather, but it was like 80 degrees here in Florida on Christmas. I, you know, I don't like that shit when it's warm on Christmas. I know a lot of people would love to have a warm Christmas day, but not me. I want it to be cold. Oh, that's cool, Robert. See, I've never met celebrities like that. The closest I've ever come to meeting a celebrity was when the George Bush Sr., when he was president, he came and gave a speech to us troops in Korea. But I just saw him at a distance. I was out in the crowd. That's the only time I've actually seen any kind of public figure in real life. Not on a screen. I saw George Bush Sr., the first George Bush. He gave us a speech. But kids, I get it with kid. When you're a kid and you see Hulk Hogan bigger than life, I would have done this. I would have wanted his autograph or whatever as a kid. But as you grow up, once you get in your 20s and 30s and shit, I think uh, I don't want to say it seems to me like people should grow out of that, but people don't. I'm just, obviously, or I wouldn't be sitting here talking about this shit. Sarge in America, what's up? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Pat Tillman, there we go, Sarge. Yeah, thanks. Sarge saved me. Pat Tillman, and he was an Army Ranger. Yep, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Sarge. So there are good ones. You know what I mean? There are people like Pat Tillman who went out there. Who else was it? I think Elvis. Didn't Elvis join the military? There have been other service members who were famous and then duty called and they went. And then there have been service members or not service members, but then there have been celebrities who ran to Canada and dodged the draft and shit. So we've got both sides of it. Yard Gnome, what's up, Yard Gnome? Oh man, NyQuil drunk. Yeah, yeah, that sucks, dude. Getting sick on your days off. Yeah, yeah, that sucks, man. I know exactly how you feel. Oh, he was in your battalion, Sarge? Oh, all right. I heard there were questions about how he died. I don't know. Conspiracy theories abound, but I heard there was some questions about the way he died. I don't know if there are Cardinals in Arizona. Shannon, I honestly don't know. Well, they were the St. Louis Cardinals, and they just moved the team to Arizona and kept the name. So I don't know if there are. It's a sketch, no shit, Oliver. That's badass, dude. An old Magic 8 Ball. No, yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, Lyrain. Yeah, they never what you think they would be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not if you can afford it. Yeah, if you can afford to avoid putting your hands in the health of the VA, yeah, that's the way to go. A lot of them they can't afford it. That's the only help they can get. Yeah, yeah, Robert. Yeah, that's a good damn quote. Follow no man who is safe from the violence he commands. Yeah, Robert. Yeah, that is so damn smart, dude. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Bucky, what's up? Duck B, you know. Oh, it's freezing cold in Northwest Europe, connecting the rabbit holes. All right. I don't want it to be too cold. If my perfect weather, well, it's going to get cold here in Florida pretty quick this coming week. They're calling for some cold weather, but it's going to be perfect for me. Low 70s during the day and like 40s at night. That's perfect. That's perfect weather. 76 degrees, sunny and clear on Christmas, Savage. All right. That's a little warm for me on Christmas. I'd like a little bite in the air on Christmas Day. It would just make it better. Yeah, yeah, Robert. Disconnection happens because we elevate them on a pedestal, and for them to try to mix with the general population could be deadly. Yeah, elevating these people with that have no real world skills. It's just entertainment. It's just catching a football or pretending to be a gangster or this kind of shit or just eating your food. Nowadays it's reached a ridiculous level, right, where people are just on there clipping their toenails and eating their food and just doing normal shit. uh yeah, just I really don't understand it. I really don't. Why are people, large amounts of people? I mean, some of these people have, millions of subscribers, and it, and I'm not bitching about it, like from a jealous standpoint or whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, I get as I have as many subscribers as I have, and I'm fine with that. But at least I'm trying to think and do something and engage in conversation or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting here asking y'all to watch me drink beer or something, or uh, at least we're thinking, trying to, at least, at the very least. I don't think anybody can deny that we're trying to think. Even if I'm failing, at least I'm trying. I'm not just here mindlessly playing with a football or eating chicken McNuggets or some shit like that. But I, my real question is, what is the mentality of the population, the large groups of population that want to raise these people up? You know, and uh, it's really interesting. If you think about it. You met Reagan when you were a kid? Oh, it didn't work out that great for you, Ross. Oh, all right, Sarge. 2nd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. All right. Mike Fleisner, my boy Mike. What's up, dude? Glad to see you here. Jimmy Stewart was in the Navy. Okay, Zeke. Elvis did go light rain. I thought so. I thought I remembered pictures and video of him or something in his uniform. Yeah. 6 inches of snow, Sarge. Oh, okay, Savage. I was in while Clinton was president for a little bit, I think. Not for very long. I think that uh, I'm trying to remember now. I think Bill Clinton just got elected the year before I got out or something like that. Oh, okay, Sarge. So, they think it was friendly fire. Okay. Clark Gable. Okay, Robert. Yeah, see, there have been throughout history, there have been celebrities, mostly in the past, who have gone on to serve. And a lot of them came back, like Elvis, and they survived it. Uh, so that they're not all bad necessarily. Yeah, how accurate friendly fire can be. Yeah, no, it's not friendly at all. And my grandpa, it was accidental. Like I said, conspiracy theories abound around the instance we're talking about. But my grandpa tells a story. He was a tank commander, and how they were dropping bombs on his unit, and he's on the radio you know, trying to get him to stop, and they're just killing his men. He was a captain, and they just came out of nowhere. And he'd get drunk and he'd tell me that story. I mean, yeah, I mean, you could tell. And it was, he's like 70 years old. You know what I mean? This shit happened, what, 50 years ago, and it's still haunting him, watching his guys just get ripped to shit with friendly fire. So, yeah. Ice is everywhere in Michigan, Lorraine. 35 during the day. Holy shit. Yeah, that's cold, Roz. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. The terrorist killed at Bondi will be buried at an undisclosed date in an unmarked grave. Yeah. And don't mind my tax dollars in this case. Yeah. Even that, I think for that kind of shit, just personally, I think that's a little too much. I wouldn't even, I would just throw that garbage in the ocean or something. You know what I mean? Or whatever. To give him any kind of decent burial is above and beyond that. Well, I guess decent people do that though. So at least they're not celebrating him. 35 in Iowa. Yeah, Sarge. Sheep looking for a shepherd, and we that that term sheep or sheeple, it gets used a lot. It's almost cliche. It's a term we use a lot, but it describes them. The vast herds of people, right? That just follow the group. Um, it's actually accurate. Yeah, the the sheep, and they're looking for a leader. They can't. It's almost like they can't. They're unable to act on their own. And come to their own conclusions and make their own decisions. It's a really weird thing, and a lot of people are are that way. That's why they've come up with this thing about the NPCs. It's just, you call somebody an NPC. It's just like calling them a sheep. It's just changing the terminology, but it's the same shit. You know what I mean? NPC. They're just taking up space. They're just breathing air and consuming resources, but they don't do anything. They don't create anything. They just follow the mass whichever way public opinion is going, that's the way they go. They don't ask questions. They don't push back. They don't forge any paths. They don't create anything. They just do their NPC thing and die at some point. So yeah, and I see a lot of that. I mean, I'm actually surprised. The more and more I look into this kind of shit, the more surprised I am at just the sheer amount of people like that. You know, on every side of every topic of every whatever. Pick a topic. Pro this, against this. They're both sheep, right? They're not questioning why is this happening, why. They're just completely for it or completely against it, and that's it, right? Because that's the way their group says they should be. uh, no matter if I'm for or against the damn thing, if I think the thing is good or evil or whatever, still I can question the damn thing. I'm not following I'm trying not to anyway. I'm trying not to just follow the herd. Uh, so, and I hope more and more people wake up to that, wake up to that herd mentality, no matter where you land on the spectrum of whatever, conservative or liberal or whatever, progressive. Hope more and more people start asking questions and looking around. Yeah, Robert. Yeah, ancient Rome. A lot of our historical societies got shit right. I mean, they did. I mean, some of them had justice down to a T. Some of them had, really good ideas, but then, they went away with the collapse of the society. An online bong session. Yeah. Oh, Clint served? How did I not know that? No, I knew that. Yeah, Ezekiel. Yeah, I knew that. I knew Clint served. I remember seeing him in his uniform too. Yeah. No. No, not yet. Yard gnome. No, nobody's nobody's offered me shit. No, no. So I don't know. Just as a point of fact, uh, or as kind of a mind, an experiment, a mental experiment. If someone would offer me money to talk up a point I don't agree with, um, I don't know. Number one, I don't think I do it. I don't think I do it. I don't need to do it. So I don't think I would. And if I would, I think I'd do it badly. If I for some reason I did, if I was about to be evicted or something and I really needed the money really badly, um, I just think I do it so poorly because I wouldn't. I'd feel like a fraud, up here, and I'd be stuttering and shit, and it just wouldn't be a good thing, you know. I'd be up here lying the entire time. I mean, you can say whatever you want about me, but I don't lie. I might say some shit that's just dumb sometimes that, but I believe it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a lie. Uh, I might be misinformed. I might be wrong. But I'm not lying. That's one thing I can promise you. I'm not lying. So for me to get up here and lie, that would be really tough, and it would just come across poorly. Yeah, I just couldn't do that. Too many of you, I mean, are honestly, you're my friends, and I couldn't get up here and just lie to you. This is different than somebody having 2 million subscribers while they're eating their shit and just you know flashing some kind of stupid shit or whatever. We have deeper conversations than that, and I just don't think it would play well with this, with y'all, not with me. It just wouldn't play well. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm eating leftovers too. I'm still eating Christmas ham, Lorraine, yeah. Lee Marvin was a Marine. Lorraine's leaving us. All right, Lorraine. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. Learn to think outside their narratives, connecting the rabbit holes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Shannon, non playing character. Yeah. 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 The average person just wants no interruption to Wi Fi, Amazon delivery on time, and their Starbucks on demand. Yeah. Yep. I agree. And it's about convenience. And I believe I've said it before, and convenience is going to be the downfall of humanity. This love of and desire for convenience. Yeah, Bucky, the Japanese talking about our Marines. Yeah. Yeah, Sarge, me too. That's the people in the middle who are questioning shit, questioning both sides. That's where I'm at. And that's mostly what I do. Tank, what's up, Tank? Glad to see you here. You're your own brand of crazy, huh, Tank? Yeah. I feel you, man. But yeah, question everything, dude. Sarge, yeah, that's me. That's all I do is ask questions. I present some stuff, and then I question it. Why is it this way? Why why do people elevate certain individuals up and revere them as saints? Or equal to saints and shit. Why do why do people fawn? And I'm not saying it's bad. I don't understand it. Uh, I really don't. From my mind, it's hard to wrap my mind around that. Seeing lifting someone up like that. Uh, that if the dude gets diarrhea, he's gonna shit his pants just like me. You know what I mean? So they're just human beings. So I never understood that, and I mean, since the days of Princess Diana back in the day, I didn't understand it. I'm like, what the hell? But I grew out of that kind of stuff when I was a kid. Watching WWF back then, and oh, like uh, the Ultimate Warrior was my favorite guy and all that, and but nowadays, once I grew up and grew out of that, now I don't understand it. With an adult mind, it's hard to understand. Oh yeah, Savage. Yeah, some stuff. Yes, there's just not enough money. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Somebody offered me $1 billion or some ignorant amount of money to get up here and say some dumb shit. I would probably say it, and then set myself up for life, and then tell y'all I'm starting a new YouTube channel. I got paid, so y'all come find me over here because that old YouTube channel is junk now because I ruined it for $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? But the cash is in my account now, so we can start this over again. And those of y'all who would realize why I did it could follow me. But nobody's ever going to pay me that amount of money, so that's a non-issue. But it would still it would still be a shitty episode because I'd still be lying. But for $1 billion, I might try to lie. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, paying for psyops is truly clever strategy. Yeah, 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 Tripwire. I agree, dude. I mean, they have become masters at that shit. I mean, look at that. Look at how it's evolved with this whole climate thing. The ice age is coming, the global this and global, and then finally they figured out, well, we'll just call it climate change. If it gets hot, climate change. If it gets cold, climate change. If there's a storm, climate change. If there's a wildfire, climate change. Climate change. Climate change. Yeah, Okay, but hell, the person that figured that out, that just decided to call it climate change, was a pretty damn smart son of a bitch. You know what I mean? I don't. He knew what he was doing. So yeah, they're masters at that shit. They have paid trillions upon trillions of dollars to brainwash people, and those of us flashlit. What's up? No, flashing it, flashing it. What's up? Glad to see you here. But those of us who have resisted that brainwashing and have either kept our eyes open, kept an open mind, or shaken that shit off and opened our eyes. Either way, um, that takes a lot of willpower, a lot of strength to resist trillions of dollars of propaganda and marketing and all this shit, right? So it's not it's not completely like all sheeple are just stupid and ignorant. It's they are being bombarded with media, propaganda, bots, AI now, all kinds of stuff. They're just, you know, they're just comfortable in their darkness. Popeye the Sailor was in the Navy too, huh, Zeke? All right. Yeah, he was. You're right, though. Yeah, lying is too much paperwork. Yeah, Tank. That's one thing. I think it was Mark Twain who said it. If or I forget, somebody like that back in the day said it. If you if you tell the truth, then you don't have to remember anything. It's when you start lying that you have to start remembering the lies that you told and shit. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that always stuck with me. You know, if I tell the truth, then I don't have to try to keep up with all kinds of lies and shit. I'm just, I it's still the truth tomorrow, and it'll be the truth day after tomorrow. It's the truth. So yeah, truth is much simpler, and it's real. Lies are fake. I hate fake shit. Fake stars, fake anything. I want reality. I like reality. I like to know the truth. And that's kind of where I'm sitting on almost every topic you can think of. Yeah, even if I tried it, y'all would call me out. Yeah, Bucky, you're right. Yeah, you would know something was up. You know what I mean? If I got up here in one episode and started talking about, how great the vaccine was or something, and y'all would say, "What the hell is this dude talking about?" Yeah, so I just don't think it would play out. I don't think anybody would offer me money to say any shit like that. They knew I'd get called out real quick. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good way to do it, Tank. Keep the Chargers. Yeah. Force multiplier, Tank. Yeah. Yeah, the hand that owns the modem controls the world. Yeah, Trip. Yeah, Sarge. Well, I try to be. They said I'm not always right, but at least I'm trying to be honest. I might say some shit. Hey, everybody's going to. I'm not trying to claim to be perfect and I'm gonna tell you the truth every single time. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm trying to be honest every single time. I might say some shit up here that just isn't true that I thought was true. I'm not infallible. I'm not claiming to do that. Everything I say needs to be. If you really want to take it to heart, then you need to do your own research on it and look it up and make sure that I didn't make a mistake. Just because I believe it's true doesn't mean that it actually is. You know what I mean? Question everything, especially what the hell you hear me say. You know. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, Tank. Yeah. So what had happened was, yeah, 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 that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Sarge, the whole climate change thing. Do they the people who the- and here's a great example of the one side versus the other. You have your climate change, right? The people who want to us all to sell our souls to reduce the carbon, all right, emissions and shit. And then the climate deniers who say climate change isn't a thing. It's just climate change is bullshit. Okay. Now, they're both so far wrong that it's, to a thinking person, that it's really astounding. How can you say that climate change isn't a thing when we used to be in an ice age? The Earth used to have an ice age, and now it's hotter, so the climate changed. And then we have seasons. The climate is changing on larger scales of time and shorter scales of time. All it's constantly changing. One of the dumbest things you can do is deny climate change altogether. What the climate is change. You know what I mean? It's not a static thing. It's about change. If it was a static thing, then there wouldn't be a climate. It wouldn't be a climate. It would just be whatever. Uh, but then you have your other side of the argument that climate change is 100% powered by man and stuff, our CO2 emissions and shit. And okay, then who was emitting CO2 during the last ice age? Why did it change? Why did the ice age end if we didn't have factories and shit and cars and pumping CO2 into the why did the ice age end? It should have never warmed up. If that's the case, it should have never warmed up. Both arguments are completely balls out ridiculous, but that's what you get when you have one side versus the other, and they're fighting over, and they're both wrong. They're both ridiculous when the only thing that makes sense is in the middle, and you look around and you say, okay, this is a common sense actual answer to this. Climate changes because that's the nature of climate. We're not all this other dumb shit on both extreme sides of the argument. Oh, you have your coffee now, Zeke? All right. A brutal mentality. Yeah, Mother Earth is living on her own weather schedule. Yeah, Michelle. Yeah. Yeah, Sarge. Yeah, I'm in Florida. If they said that Florida was going to be underwater by the year 2000, and then 2010, and then 2020. They just keep kicking that can down the road. The water doesn't rise. The sea has been the same, like that much. You know what I'm saying? Literally, like millimeters per year, or something. But that's the nature of it. The sea is not going to stay the exact same height to the millimeter for eternity. What do these people think is happening? Oh, yeah, that's cool, Tank. Yeah, Tank actually works in marketing, underhanded psychological manipulation. And if you're lucky, they're selling you something useful. Yeah. And I've said that in the past, Tank, that it's all based on psychology. They've taken psychological studies and inserted that shit into food, cars, all that shit, all this marketing and stuff. They know what chemicals to put in food to make them addictive. All this different stuff. It's all about psychology and manipulation. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I totally uh, get what you're saying there, Tank. Yeah, underhanded psychological manipulation, and Tank works in marketing. So yeah. Oh yeah, the ozone layer connecting the rabbit. Oh yeah, yep, yep. We're all supposed to drop dead because of the ozone layer. You see this pin? Yeah, consume, 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 Michelle. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Well, that'll tell you, Sarge, that remember when, I don't know, 15 years ago, whatever, in that area, they were really big on the climate change thing, and the Obamas bought beachfront property. Now, if they thought that their property was going to be underwater in the next 10 years, why the hell would they buy a multi-million dollar beachfront property? Why wouldn't they invest in the mountains, a little higher elevation? That'll tell you right there, they're full of shit. They're spouting all this stuff about the oceans going to rise and then buy beachfront property while they're saying that shit to people. It's preposterous. And people that don't see this kind of behavior, this hypocritical behavior, they're willfully ignorant. They're keeping their eyes closed to the truth and to what's actually going on. Joshua, what's up, Joshua? Welcome to the show. Glad to see you here. Nectar of the gods, Bucky. You could say that again, dude. Yeah, war is deception. Yeah, that's a good one, Tank. Yeah. Yeah, it could be Mandela effect. That yeah, it could be. As I did that show on the Mandela effect a while back. Mike Fleisner, what's up? Yeah, we can't have climate change on a flat earth, Mike. Yeah, you're right about that, dude. My boy Mike. Yeah. Goals are just spotted, huh, Sarge? Yeah, the shit we were told as kids. Yeah, Michelle, they had too much gas. Yeah, connecting the rabbit holes. Yeah, NASA has a monopoly on that. Yeah, never a straight answer, Robert. Yep. And that's the thing across the board with the government. There's never just a straight answer. And that's the main problem I have. It's always confusing whether you're talking about assassination attempts, assassinations, uh, any kind of like the Epstein thing, scandals and shit like that. There's never just a clear cut answer. It's always nothing to see here. Oh, there's something there. Well, there's not. There was something. Maybe something. No, nothing. No. Well, and they never just come out and tell you. This is what happened. There's always, like, why are they up there, hours after the guy got shot after Trump got assassinated or attempted assassination on Trump? They shot the guy, and then within like a couple hours, they're hosing the guy where the body lay. They're hosing it off the rooftop. The FBI. Why? Okay, I'm not a forensic specialist or anything, but it seems like that they would be up there for days taking data analysis and DNA and all this shit. You know what I mean? They're hosing it off in an hour. They're hosing that shit off. That just seems suspect to me. So yeah, it's always some weird shit going on. Never a straight answer. Yeah, yeah, Tank. Yeah, climate change is so bad that we gotta send all our manufacturing overseas to China and get rid of all of our jobs so that America can be, carbon neutral. Oh, well, China's, spitting out just as much carbon as America and all these other countries now. And we've just changed our carbon emissions from manufacturing to data, right? AI and all these data centers because they got to burn coal to power these data centers. So we haven't reduced our carbon. Now we're ramping our carbon back up to power all these data centers and shit. Yeah, water has to evaporate as well, Michelle. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Lyrene. Yeah, we are a blip on the planet. Yeah, just a we are an eye blink. Our civilization, Western civilization, is an eye blink of time compared to the history of the planet. And we're gonna look around in our this little brief one frame of reference in a in a 1,000 hour movie, and we're gonna say that this is what it is. It's preposterous. It really is. And it's the what am I trying to say here? It's the height of of grandiosity, when you of pompousness, to think that you understand everything that's going on. The most of the top scientists in the world are just as ignorant as we are. They don't know. They get paid to come up with theories. I can come up with a theory. I just won't get paid for it. You know what I mean? But I can come up with a theory, like the Big Bang or whatever theory they come up with. I can come up with these theories too. I won't get any money for them. They get paid to come up with these theories, but they don't know any more than I do. They don't know how the universe was created. They don't know how big the universe is, how old it is. They don't know any of that shit. Not even close. They have no idea. None. Think about it. These scientists have no clue how old the universe is, how big it is, or how it was formed. And so what the hell? Yeah, they have theories. Yes, they are theories. They are guesses. They are, you know, stories that they made up. Now they spent thousands of hours and billions of dollars in taxpayer money to look out into the universe and come up with these stories. Yes, I'm not arguing that, but they're still stories. They're still just guesses, educated guesses. And when you say that, people get mad. Oh, are you? Now, questioning science is how you do science. That's how science is done, to question science. If nobody questioned science, it would be religion. And that's where we're headed, because you're not allowed to question science anymore. And that makes it religion, because it used to be just religion, right? They didn't have science back before Isaac Newton. They didn't have science. All they had was religion, and religion explained everything away, right? So then we got into this age where science was just hardcore facts and stuff, and they would study it. But now we're going back into the age of science is religion. They're just making up stories. Now, yeah, you call it what you want, but that's what it is. They're making up stories, and then you're supposed to believe them 100%. Don't question them. If you do question them, you're an uneducated bigot. Oh, yeah, blood infection. Making you sleepy? Yeah, Rocio. Yeah, that a blood infection will damn take it out of you, dude. I hope you're feeling better soon, Roz. I really do, man. Yeah, climate change. Yeah, climate change is necessary. It's a necessary thing that we must have. Yeah, we need it. So, yeah, it's like saying, you have a blood pressure. There's something wrong. No, I need a blood pressure. I need blood. That's important. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I've heard that before, Sergeant America, that oil is just a natural byproduct of our planet. Yeah, I'm beginning to lean more and more toward that. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, AF. They show magnetic pole shifting, the ice core samples. Not only that, but they showed that the carbon count, the amount of carbon in the atmosphere was much, much higher in the past. Much higher than it is now. This is actually a low point. in that graph. You know what I mean? We're actually at a low point in the carbon, but they choose to ignore that, right? Because that would throw a monkey wrench in their climate change thing. Yeah, AF, glad to see you here. Glad you can make it. Yeah, connecting. Yeah, Darwin's theory: 150 years of digging and still no proof. Yeah. I honestly on that I did a video on that a while back too. I think it's somewhere in a happy medium. I think most things are. They're in the middle somewhere. Not what we're told, and not from either side. It's somewhere in the middle. Just just a hunch in my opinion. Yeah, magnetic variation. Yeah, trip. Yeah, yeah. GF7. Yep. Yeah, we're the carbon they want to get rid of. You're right about that. Yeah, got renovated right afterward, Robert, where Charlie Kirk did. Yep. Yeah, they were throwing down pavers and shit like 2 days later, a day or two later, maybe the next day. They were going over that. Yeah, just more confusing, more questions, more odd behavior after the fact. Why? Why? And there's no reason, but it always happens. Always. China has forest plots in New Zealand for carbon tax credits. Oh yeah, yep. So they're buying up New Zealand for in the name of climate change. China is buying up New Zealand. Yeah, that kind of shit. And people are sold that and they believe it. Oh yeah, China owns a big chunk of New Zealand because they're trying to save the planet. Yeah, that's why they're doing it. That's why they're buying New Zealand. Yeah, it wouldn't be about greed and real estate. Joe P, what's up, Joe P? Glad to see you here, man. RR, the new Oracle of Delphi. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. That's the one of the maybe the greatest thing about the internet is that it allows us to come here and discuss this stuff with common sense, with a little, because I've said some dumb shit on here, and I'll be the first to admit it. I'll say some dumb shit that I've been thinking about, that I just, these ideas that I have, and I'll question shit or whatever. And then somebody like AF did it just recently with some medical stuff. Just pointed out, hey, that you're sounding kind of not. I mean, she was a lot nicer than that, but hey, you're just wrong there. You sounded kind of ridiculous. So and but the making it possible for us to come together and discuss these things is one of the greatest um, points about the internet. You know what I mean? It is the reason the internet was actually created, was for people to get together and discuss it. It was made for the scientific community to be able to do exactly what we're doing and discuss these things, what we're doing here. You know what I mean? And before I started this channel, I would just be thinking about this shit in isolation by myself. I would just, my thoughts spinning around in my head, and I would not have anybody to discuss it with, not really. And I wouldn't have people like AF or Tripwire or Vintage or, uh, you know, other people with common sense and thinking at it from a different angle to point out that maybe I'm wrong. I haven't thought all the way through it. You know what I mean? So before I started this channel, I would just spin around, but spin around in a circle and not with my thoughts, instead of going in a real direction, think about it like guardrails. Now I have y'all to kind of bump bump me back into the common sense lane. You know what I mean? You're getting a little off the rails there, Jesse. Oh, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, that's a wonderful thing about the internet, and especially channels like this, that are just about discussion and broadening our awareness and opening our minds and asking questions. Yeah, that's one thing they don't tell you about, Joe P, is that the plants actually need CO2. They thrive on it. The plants around the planet are doing great with the CO2 levels rising. They flourish. So what do? We just bulldoze forests over and pile them under the ground, just bury them under the ground. That's a Bill Gates thing if you're not aware of that yet. Yeah. So, Althea Cat, what's up, Althea? Glad to see you here. Glad you could make it. All right. Yeah. Yeah, Trip. Sometimes graves should remain shut. Yeah. No, there's no reason to be paranoid, Michelle, and there's every reason to be curious. Yeah. Just ask questions um and discuss it with each other, you know? That's the important thing, because we're told, not to question, not to discuss these things. Don't. You'll get canceled, demonetized, you'll get censored if you dare speak about X, whatever topic is taboo at that time. You know what I mean? So we're told not to discuss these things, even amongst each other, even with each other. We're not allowed to. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Rabbit hole. Yeah, blaming cow farts. Yep. Yeah, without education, we are in a horrible, deadly danger of taking educated people seriously. Yeah, that's a good quote. Ten Grizz, there he is. What's up, dude? Glad to see you, man. Jody, hey Jody, what's up? There is Their time is done. You can't stop this freight train now. There's too much momentum, and common sense is not that common if you didn't notice. Yeah. Well, what side, what color is that freight train? Is that you're talking about, Jody? Are you saying that uh, is it a freight train of stupidity, that there are just too many sheep out there, or are you saying that the freight train is common sense and there's too much momentum, common sense momentum, to be stopped now? Yeah, yeah, Tank, you're the kitty bumpers keeping me from rolling a gutter ball. Yeah, dude, exactly. Yep. Yeah, Michelle. Yeah, I mean, very, very little. I don't know if I've actually found any yet. I hope I hope I've got some nephews that I think they have common sense. I really hope so. I have, I'm optimistic for their future anyway. They were raised right. You don't want to die Oregon Trail style with bloody diarrhea? Well, how else do you want that that's the only way to go. Yeah. That's Yeah. I think a lot of, in post-apocalyptically speaking, that's the way that would probably be the most common way to die, right? AF in after the apocalypse. Yeah. Yeah, I've been hammered, Tank, for quoting Bill Gates. I just quoted Bill Gates, just repeated what he said verbatim. Yeah, I got hammered by YouTube for that shit. They don't like that shit. Yeah, but yeah, but he's allowed to get up there and spout that shit. You know what I mean? But if I repeat what he said and show more people that he's actually saying this shit, then yeah, I'll get in trouble. Yeah, that's the way we all should be, Jody, is constantly asking questions, especially about these stupid rules. Yeah. We have so many of them, stupid laws and regulations that make no sense. Yeah. You ran your hounds last night, 10 Grizz? What are they, coon hounds? Yeah. We take different drugs for different organisms. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Michelle. Answers to the hard questions nobody has clearance to answer. Yeah, those are the questions I want. Why the hell? Okay, something simple that's been around for so long. It's just like part of our pop culture or whatever. Area 51. Why the hell don't they just come out and tell us what's in there? Or they really believe that if they told us what was in Area 51, that the Chinese would just invade, we'd lose America. Russia and China, they'd be on our shores overnight, right? Because we're told that it's for um, national security reasons, right? Everything they hide everything behind that national security. They can't release the Epstein files because of national security. They redact 280 pages of the Epstein file, and we're told because they want to they're protecting the victims when it's the victims who are up there on a campaign to get the files released. Number one. Number two, there's 680 pages of victims, just a list of victims' names. 680 pages of them. Okay. Yeah, it never makes sense. They're always hiding behind these things like national security and protecting victims and shit. They always justify the reason they're shady and they won't tell us shit. You know what I mean? They always have good justifications. But the fact of the matter is, they could just tell us, and it wouldn't change a damn thing. Except we'd know that they're scumbags. You know what I mean? We'd know for a fact then. If they didn't redact the Epstein files, then we know everybody who went over there and molested kids. You know what I'm saying? If they told us what was in Area 51, then we'd know that they've been hiding shit, whatever it is that they've been hiding from us for, what is it now, 75 years? It's about 75 years, something like that. They've been hiding that shit from us. So yeah, for no reason other than it had nothing to do with national security. They just been hiding it from the people. So yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Got suspended in 2020 for sharing topical Journal of American Medical Association articles in difference of the published lore. Yeah. Just for repeating what other people say and not even horrible, just quoting uh factual literature, quoting something some celebrity says out of his own mouth, quoting shit will get you in trouble. Yeah, they love censorship. What's that about? AF? You can ask away to your heart's content. Chat evaporates, but I don't think Jesse would appreciate taking over his stream. Who? No, I don't. I don't. I'm not afraid of that. Anybody taking over the stream or whatever. Um, yeah, especially in the comment section. Yeah, no. But you've seen me before. I promote other channels. If y'all want your channel promoted, if you've got a channel, um, Living and Active has a channel. I don't mind people, self promoting or whatever. Uh, I'll promote you. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, old world war style, Bucky, axes and swords. That was something to fear. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like our Constitution says. And that's a big misconception, Jody, that most people believe that our Constitution gives us rights. And that's just not true. We have rights given to us by God, and the Constitution forbids the government from infringing on those rights. The Constitution doesn't give us a single right, it just protects those rights from the government, from our government. So that's what the Constitution does. The Constitution actually says that our rights are given to us by God. Raccoon and Bobcat. All right, 10 grids. Yeah. Oh, yeah. An audit of, yeah. Everything needs to be audited. Tank you know, from the school. What's that called? The school system there, the administration, all the way up to the presidency, Congress, the Senate, everything starting at the local hometown and school administration. Yeah. Raccoon and fox crosses. I used to have coon dogs when I was a kid, 10 Grizz. Yeah, I loved them. They're my favorite dogs I ever had. Black and tan Ezekiel. Yeah, that's what one of mine was. Newt, what's up, Newt? Glad to see you here, man. Glad you could make it. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. Yeah, Michelle, we never enforce our governmental amendments or laws against the government. We never enforce that shit. Uh, the government never, whenever they come out with a new law or regulation, it's never against business. It's always against us, right? We have lobbying that they just bribe the senators to pass the laws that they want. I mean, and that's just the way it is, and we just accept it, right? Um, we're forced to pay insurance. We're forced to do this. We're forced to do that. But when's the last time you saw a law come out that actually benefited the American people, that hurt a business or just wasn't in a business's best interest, right? Well, Apple or Microsoft or IBM or whatever, their profits are going to go down 0.5% next year because the Senate passed a bill that's going to help the American people. When have you ever heard that in your life? Right? It's always, well, we're going to pay more taxes, or you're forced to buy this now, or something like that. It's always something like that. They never, ever pass something that is in the interest of the American people and against the interest of the big corporate. These big, and now we've got all these monopolies, And that's a whole nother sickening topic, these monopolies, where in capitalism, and I see these people again, anti-capitalism, pro-capitalism. What is the common sense thing somewhere, the actual truth? We don't have capitalism. We're not in a capitalistic society. Period. Capitalism doesn't exist, not in the United States. It doesn't exist. But people want to say that capitalism is the reason for all the evil in the world, or capitalism is the best thing that ever happened to the world, when we haven't had capitalism for I don't know how long. I've not, in the time that I've been born, since the 70s, United States has never experienced capitalism. It's a tale we're sold. We have monopolies, these corporate globalist monopolies that control the world. It's not capitalist at all, not even close. That's anti-capitalism. Monopolies are anti-capitalism, the opposite of capitalism. So yeah. The review articles aren't taken seriously as something from Science or Lancet. Okay. All right, AF. They're not a member of the AMA? Okay. Wolverines! Yeah, Tank. Yeah, dude. Nature, yeah, Tank. Nature is your jam, yeah. Oh, all right. Most of stuff got pulled down for music copyright. Yeah, I did one. I heard AF that you could play music for as long as it was less than 30 seconds or something, or 20. I forget what the number was. So I made a video and talked about music, and played short, like less than 10-second clips of music videos, from the 80s, from MTV era. Yeah, and they yanked that shit. Yeah. So I don't know. I just haven't even tried since then. I don't haven't played any music at all on my channel because they'll just yank it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It makes you wonder why we have to protect our government, and why it's so apparent to everyone but us that they put that in our Constitution. Yeah. Yeah, Jody. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Oh, okay. All right, 10 Grizz. Yeah. That's cool. Record your hunts. Yeah. That'd be an awesome way to record them on YouTube. Oh, you've had a channel for a year that you're afraid to start, Michelle? Well, the only thing I can say is just to start it. When I first started my channel, all I had was my phone, and and I would just talk about shit, kind of like I do now. But all I had was my phone, and I just made up my mind to start it. So I did it, and now I'm not insanely successful in anything, but we have a nice group of people to talk to. So even at that this small level, I can say that I'm successful in that regard. So yeah, I would just say start it, Michelle, and use it as a working experiment. Don't start it, and that's just the beginning. You got to think of your channel as like a pile of clay, and you work it into what you want it to be. Let life and your audience and stuff take you where you fit, and where you connect. You're not stuck in whatever you choose, the way you choose to start. You're not stuck there. You can upgrade your equipment slowly. You can modify your subject matter slowly, and kind of figure out where you fit in. But the most important step is just starting, because you won't know any of that stuff until you start. Tripwire, yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Trip. Yeah, you're a valuable member to Gen X. Thanks, dude, and sincerely. Tank, what, you got a channel, Tank? Tell me about it. I'll promote your channel, Tank. Not sure how to begin. Well, figure it out. Figure it out on YouTube. Don't. This is my advice. Now, I take it with a grain of salt. But if I were you, Michelle, I would not be outside walking around outside my channel trying to figure it out. I would figure it out in the chair in front of the camera. That's how I'd figure it out, knowing what I know now. Okay. So, it might be rough. It might be difficult for the first couple months or whatever. You know what I mean? Depending on what kind of channel you want to do. You don't, I'm assuming that you want to have the like mine, that you want the camera pointed at you and you're talking. Hell, you don't even have to be in the camera. You know, you don't even have to use your own voice. You can animate. I don't know what you have planned, but either way, no matter what kind of channel you want to start, I'd start it. Yeah, start it with at the very fundamental, basic, Lincoln log level, and construct it. You know, Mangrove, what's up? Yeah, yeah, a lot of selfishness. And that's the reason for it, Mangrove, in my opinion. That's the reason for selfishness is the reason for selfishness. Um, Selfishness is self-replicating, because if I am a giving person and I look out at all these selfish people and they just take, I am going to become selfish. I am going to quit giving. I am going to contract, right? Unless I am a complete moron and I'm just going to end up living under a bridge somewhere and give all my shit away to all these selfish takers. And I mean, that's pretty much what we see. So people have, over the years, people become more and more selfish, more and more self-centered. There less and less community, less and less, generosity. Now people will be generous. That's a trick. People will be generous when it comes to, they'll give to some big organization, right? The Red Cross, and the CEO of the Red Cross is making $25 million a year. You know what I mean? And hardly any of what you donate gets trickled down to the people that actually need the help. But the Red Cross CEO is getting another yacht, you know, because his old one isn't big enough anymore. That kind of shit. Oh, okay. Just sharing more than for trying to be a channel. All right, IAF, yeah. A loser. No, no. As long as we have our minds and we're thinking and exploring that with our minds, then we're not losers. No, we never. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think we've ever had a fair capitalist system connecting the rabbit holes. Yeah. Oh, you are, AF, published in the Journal of Pediatric Radiology. Sorry. That's awesome. That's awesome, AF. I'm happy for you. Oh, okay. Creative Commons open license. Tank. Okay. Just link to his music. Okay. Legion Zero music. All right. Also available for commissions. All right. Legion Zero with an X. XERO. Kind of like Xerox. Legion Zero music. All right. Not paid to say it, just sharing the love. Okay. Thanks, Tank. I appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, mixed it and put it at the bottom. All right, AF. Oh yeah, mangrove. Yeah, dude. How do they enter with 2 million in the bank and leave with 400 million? How do they enter just a normal common person? Maybe a small business owner or something with a couple hundred grand in the bank and leave with 250, 300 million on a $140,000 a year salary. It's crooked. We all know it's crooked. They deserve to be drug out into the streets and dealt with, but they're not. We we don't. It's got to get so bad uh, that all their division breaks down, and we are one people because they've made it so bad, and they know this. That's why they don't make it so bad all at once. They just pick away. They pick away at it. Yeah, and that's the way it is. They never just take a big chunk of our rights. Oh, y'all are gonna. Well, they did in 2020, right? A lot of states did, and but a lot of people just abided. They consented. They took it, you know, and that's why I think that was an experiment in 2020. Oh, you're welcome, Michelle. Yeah, just do it. Yeah, that's do the Nike. Yeah, just do it, and grow and change from there. Yeah, work it out as you go. Yeah, but that's the biggest step is doing it. Imagine if I was still sitting around waiting to do Gen X Thinks if I had not done it. I wouldn't be here right now. So I just jumped off in the water. I had no idea. I'd never done. I'm a handyman. Never been in front of a camera except for someone taking a picture of me holding up a fish or something. You know what I mean? Never talked in front of a camera before. I don't know if I'd ever been videotaped before. I honestly can't remember. I don't think I've ever been videoed before. Just still images taken of me, for by my family and stuff. Before now, before I started Gen X Thinks. And I'm not saying I'm awesome at this or anything. There are a lot better people than me out there, but I did it. So yeah, you can too. Yeah. If a dipshit handyman, a Florida man, can get in front of a camera and do this, then you can do whatever you have planned. I promise you. Macrodystrophia lipomatosa case report of rare abdominal cases. See, AF is way smart. See, AF is the smart one. I can't even pronounce half the shit that she wrote a whole article about and got published. I can't even pronounce that shit, and she knows what it means. Yeah, AF is looking at those words, and oh yeah. I'm looking at those words like, what the hell? Totally. We're speaking different languages, right? AF is beaming that shit to me from Mars, and I'm looking at what's going on. Yeah. No, AF, that's great. Yeah. Macro dystrophia. Yeah. No, I completely understand, AF. I probably wouldn't even understand that article if I could find it. Yeah. Yep. Just try stuff. Yep. Even you can even make a throwaway account, make a throwaway channel just to get your kind of get the feeling of it. But I almost guarantee that throwaway channel would turn into your main channel, because you would get the jive of it and get the flow of it, and then you wouldn't want to even change. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, you can just make a throwaway channel to start with, to experiment with and kind of get the feeling, and then revert over to your actual channel. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's how I started 10 Grizz, with just recording straight off my phone. Yep. Most are less than three. Oh, you do the shorts? Okay. I used to do shorts, and I need to start doing them again. They're fun. All you have is your phone? Yeah, that's all you need. That's what I started with. Yep. That's all you need, Michelle. Just your phone. And you get that YouTube. YouTube Create is the name of the app you need. You need your phone, you need YouTube Create, and that's it. And yeah, you can always make it private. Yep, that's true too. AF. Yeah. Yeah, no, a little channel won't get hacked. You're right, AF. Yeah, you could be living in a van down by the river, Tank. Oh, okay. Good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting about genex POV too. I didn't do the thing so I can show you that. But yeah, genex POV. That's a pretty neat channel over there too. He's on here once in a while. But if y'all think about it, go check out genex POV, and subscribe to his channel if you like it. I don't tell people to go subscribe to their channel. Watch a couple of his videos, and if you like it, same with Living and Active. Just Another Guy in the Woods is another one. So if you have a pen or whatever, write these down and just take a minute and check them out. If you like them, subscribe. If not, just flick right past them. But yeah, they're good people at least. That and they deserve at least to have you check out their channel and see whether or not you want to subscribe. But subscribing, that's one thing a lot of people don't know. Subscribing, if you subscribe to a channel and you don't watch it afterward, that actually hurts the channel. So just don't even subscribe if you're not going to watch it. You know what I'm saying? It's better to watch their videos and not subscribe than it is to subscribe to their channel and not watch their videos. So yeah. So that's why I always say, if you like it, subscribe if you plan on watching their videos. I don't want to send people over there who would just hit the subscribe button and then hurt their channel. I don't want to do that to people. Zoom glitched out last night. Yeah, YouTube is finicky that way too. Yeah, AF. Okay, Michelle. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah. As long as you're telling the truth. And so many people get away with so much bullshit now. They just get on there and lie. So I mean, we say, oh, you should tell the truth, but people lie like rugs, constantly posting bullshit, and they get away with it. I can't believe that. You know, they'll they'll censor someone for telling the truth, and then let complete dog shit lies pro, pro, pro proliferate, pro, whatever. They'll raise them up in the damn algorithm, just complete total lies. Yeah, you'll have nothing, and you'll be happy. No, well, you might want to Google that. whether it's you might want to black out names or photographs of people. I don't know. Now you're getting into uh, territory where, but I mean, if you want to take that risk, if you have proof, well, that's a whole different thing. But you might want to look into it because state laws differ, Michelle. It's according to the state you're in. So you might want to look into that. Yeah, truth is always a good thing, Trip. Yep. Tank. Oh yeah. I'm a I'm a conglomeration of shit. I'm a geek, nerd. Yeah. But I'm also, you know, uh country boy redneck. You know what I'm saying? I'm a I'm a mutt if there ever was one, a cultural mutt. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've I've trained horses, uh, built my own computer. I use Linux. Yeah, so I'm all over the damn place. Logan, what's up, Logan? Yeah, we drank hose water from the back of a pickup. Yeah, damn, dude, you're right about that. Good. Welcome to the show, Logan. Glad you could make it, dude. Yeah, Michelle. Yeah. Well, you just might have to follow certain rules. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying even, but you might want to look at the rules that you might have to do certain things to be able to legally do what you're talking about doing. You know what I mean? According to the state you're in. So I would just look that up first. There probably be no problem with it, but I would double check because state laws can get goofy. Yeah, yeah, audio is important. Audio has to be as good as you can get it, and that's genex POV actually helped me big time with my audio. So yeah, that's another he didn't have to. Tripwire actually asked him to come help me because I was having audio issues, and genex POV helped me just out of the kindness of his heart. Took his time, didn't ask me to promote his channel or anything. I just do that because he's a damn good guy and because he helped me. He never asked me for any of that. So yeah, but audio is very important, and figuring that out can be difficult. So yeah, but you can take it slowly. Like I said, I started out with my phone, and I only just recently got the audio figured out. I mean, a couple months ago, Gen X POV actually helped me. He emailed me and explained to me some stuff, and yeah, so it can take a long time to actually get things ironed out and figured out the way you want. Yeah, yeah, Mangrove. Along with selfishness comes the lack of empathy and compassion. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. You look at yourself differently. Yep. Yeah, I agree, dude. What happens to the house when they lose their key? It depends. That depends. I would have left a window open. I'd always have one window that I could climb through. You know what I'm saying? So I would just go around back and slide the window open and shimmy through the window. That's what I would do. Some kids would probably break a window, or some kids would just go, throw their books down and go play in their school clothes. Their mom would be mad when she got home from work and, you're all dirty and shit. You're in your school clothes. I've seen that happen many times. Yeah, everyone has been videoed without realizing it. Yeah, Ezekiel. Yeah, on that, in that sense, yeah, I'm on tons of video. Yeah, yeah, just uh not with my consent or my awareness. Yeah, yeah, Zeke. Oh, okay, Michelle. Glad I could help. Really, truly glad I could help. And once you get your channel started, let me know. I'll promote it. Yeah, I'll let everybody know that you're there, and I'll help you out as much as I can. Workstation that you stream from, Tank? Yeah, Michelle. Yeah, like we're seeing all the time because we are. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay. Work and teach from your computer. All right, Tank. Zombie, what's up? How you feeling this morning? You back to normal yet, Zombie? Inquiring minds want to know. How's your son feeling, dude? both y'all, both y'all had a great Christmas. I was glad to hear it. Hope you're feeling all right this morning. The hype button AF that they don't show it during the actual live stream. It's after if you watch this video after um, after I've signed off and they process the video or whatever, then the hype button comes up. Or if I do a pre-recorded video, the hype button will be there, but it's not there during the live stream. I do not know why. They'll probably change that one of these days. They'll add it so you can hype it during the live stream. But as of now, you just can't hype it during the live stream. It's only afterward. Yeah, stick to the woods most of the time, Ezekiel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No cameras out on dirt roads. All right, Tank. Yeah. Hour after the live. Okay, Trip. Thank you, Trip. Okay, so you can hype the videos about an hour after the live stream ends. Good morning, Zombie. Glad you could make it, dude. Yeah, AI is getting better at picking that stuff up. Yep, you're right, AF. Yeah, and they'll censor comments and stuff right away in the YouTube AI anyway. All right, all right, Zombie. Yeah, giving the old liver a break, huh? All right, resting up for the New Year's. Hell yeah, Zombie. We're gonna kick off this new year in style. Oliver, you gonna pick up his slack? All right. A big finger on the roof for Google Earth, Ezekiel. That's a good, damn good plan, dude. I support that mission. Oh, okay. Oh, all right, AF. Oh, your son slept in. Oh, you watched Excalibur last night. Yeah, that's cool, dude. That's cool as shit. To watch Excalibur with your son, that'd be awesome, man. Does he like the movie? Oh, lurking. Okay. All right, AF. Lurking, not working. Oh, okay. Yeah, no shit. With that spy shit on your phone. Cash man, what's up, Cash? Glad to see you here. Yeah. Yeah, life isn't easy, and that's what a lot of people are in some kind of la la land, some kind of under this impression that life is supposed to be easy, right? Cash, Who the hell ever said life was going to be easy? But people, more and more people are under the impression that life is supposed to be a breeze and, all this shit. No, life's a pain in the ass. And, but that's also what makes it great, because you have to have contrast, right? You have to have contrast to know what sweet is. You need to taste salty. If everything was sweet, there wouldn't be sweet. Nothing would be sweet, because everything was sweet, right? If life was just wonderful, it would be bullshit, because it's always wonderful. Because we would get normalized to it. Life has to suck so that the wonderful things can be wonderful. We have to have salty so the sweet things will taste sweet. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's just the way it is. I mean, to say anything else, is just ridiculous. And but people, millions of people believe that shit. Life is supposed to be this bed of roses, and they're always searching for this perfect happy life so they can be ecstatically happy all the time. No, you can't be. It's impossible. You can't be happy all the time, because without sadness, there is no happy. It doesn't exist. Hell yeah. Yeah, we should all be proud of ourselves. Yeah, especially Gen Xers, because we survived all this shit. We have absolute reason to be proud of ourselves. Yeah, yeah. At least two AF. Yeah, at least two cameras on it. Oh, okay. Bullies with empathy. Yeah, mangrove. Yep. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I heard that. Welcome to Dairy. Let me know if that's any good, zombie. Yeah, yeah. You got it. I mean, that's in my opinion, that's just sanity to embrace the suck. I made a video that you might have seen in the past. Embrace the suck. I mean, you embrace the discomfort, and strive for self improvement. Yeah, Cash. Yeah, you're talking my shit now. Mangrove, what's up, Mangrove? Thank you, man. Mangrove, our newest member. Yeah, all right. That's awesome, Mangrove. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support, man. Seriously. I appreciate the hell out of that, man. It means a lot to me. Yeah. Yeah, self-inflicted zombie. Oh yeah. Yep. I agree, dude. Most of it is. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of us did. Like uh, there was that saying, like we were 13 going on 30. A lot of us grew up fast, and a lot of us are dedicated to the truth. I mean, who wants to live in a world of bullshit? Some matrix of lies and shit. I mean, really, who wants to live their life there? There's no truth there. I am searching for the truth, whether it be about the Epstein files or about God or about, what actually happened before the Roman Republic. Did the Tartar civilization actually exist? All that kind of shit. I want to know the truth about things, and I'm just almost infinitely curious about shit. You know, is the Big Bang, is that true? Or is it just a story they made up? Does it make sense? Why do they need another theory to prop that one up to make it make sense? This kind of stuff. I'm just my curiosity almost knows no bounds. So yeah, I'm always asking questions about shit because I want to know the truth. I'm not satisfied with, accepting some bullshit. I'm just not. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, zombie. We're not going to recognize a peak without some valleys in life. Yeah. And climbing to that peak is difficult sometimes. It really is. I'm not saying that I'm saying that climbing that hill is a bitch. Climbing up to that peak to get to the good places in life sometimes are hard. It's hard to do that. It's really easy to wallow down in the valleys and just lay there and woe is me and feel self-pity down in the valleys. Yeah, that's easy to do. Climbing up to the peaks and suffering through the misery to get to the few good spots in life, that's the real hardship, because the day-to-day grind sucks. Mike Fleisner. Yeah, embrace the suck, Mike. My boy Mike knows the deal. Problems asking for help, zombie. I didn't know that was a problem. Not asking for help. Shit. I thought that was our strength, not a weakness, not a problem. Yeah, yeah, and I think that cash. Yeah, I think that some people do that. They fill that loneliness void with fame, right? And have no real connections. Yeah. I'm not a psychologist, but your demons keep you company, zombie. Yeah, Grease Bag. What's up, Grease Bag? There he is. Glad to see you here, man. Yeah, I just don't get lonely. I don't know. I never have. I'm not a lonely guy. I'm just comfortable with myself. I'm sure I would after an extended period of time. I don't know how long that would be, right? I don't know how long it would take me to feel loneliness if I was just by myself. Or maybe a week, maybe several months. I don't know. But I spent a lot of time alone. Um, Earlier, before I got married, I was single and I was comfortable being alone by myself. Uh, but then I go to work and be around people, but I come home and just be alone. And I never felt lonely that way. Yeah, living a human life with passion and purpose. Yes. Yeah. I mean, what if you're not doing that? I mean, what are you doing, right, Cash? I mean, what are we doing? If we're not living this life with purpose and passion, then what the hell are we doing? Purpose for whatever, passion for whatever. What is your purpose? What is your passion? Something, you know, just going along sheepily and doing the grind and consuming cheap Chinese shit every day and accruing a bunch of mindless garbage until they throw dirt on your face. I don't that's not a life. Don't question anything. Don't have any passion for anything. Don't it's just empty. It's an empty vessel. I don't want to be an empty vessel. I want to have a passion, even if my only passion is searching for the truth and questioning shit. But that's my passion. At least I'm passionate about something. Not and it's not what the mainstream is telling me to be passionate about. Right? I'm not passionate about Israel or Pakistan or abortion or whatever, all those hot button topics that you're supposed to be passionate about. They're pressing our emotional buttons all the time. I'm passionate about the truth. Yeah. Well, that I've heard that before, and I want to get time one day, AF, to study that more in depth and do it like do a whole uh, video on that. But I haven't had a lot of time to sit down and read a bunch about it. But see, even here, AF said 99.9% certainty. And that's how I like to phrase things, because she admits here that she doesn't know, but she's leaning that way 99.9%. So she's almost certain. And that's what we need to get to, where, because I've had people just jump up and straight up say the Tartar civilization was real and it existed 100%. No, no, dude, you just can't say that. Not in honesty, because you weren't there. You know, you weren't there, so you don't know. You can believe it 99.9%, but with all the evidence they have, but um, so yeah, I think that's fascinating. I've seen some of the evidence for it, not as much as AF, but I've seen some evidence for it, and that's a fascinating subject to me. The Tartar civilization, yeah. They haven't experienced the genex humor and sarcasm zombie, yeah, yeah, yeah. Cash man, a little easier and calmer, yeah. And Rusty, dude, what's up? Straight out of Canada. All right. Representing Canada, Rusty. Glad to see you here, Rusty. But yeah, I mean, we're learning, whether you're deep in the shit and life is as hard as it has ever gotten for you, you're learning, right? At the very least, you are learning. You're learning, that you made a mistake, or that somebody else is a narcissist, that whatever. You're learning. So we're constantly learning. So we can at least, and that's one thing that I have learned, is that I can look back at all my mistakes and all the things people have done to me and appreciate those times because I learned something. At the very least, I can say, well, I learned a lesson there, you know. Hindsight's 2020, of course. Oh, the universe plots against you too, zombie? Shit, I thought I was the only one, dude. No, the universe loves to piss down my back. Yeah, I thought I was the only one, dude. Oh yeah. Okay, Sarge. Yeah, yeah. That's one thing about my wife. I like spending time with her just as much as I like spending time alone. They're interchangeable for me, because I actually like spending time alone. I can work alone. I've worked by myself completely without anybody else around me 8, 10 hours a day for months, you know, just me and the wife. She's the only person I have actual, one-on-one interactions with all day and for months. And I'm fine with that. It doesn't bother me at all. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't translate well into society. Cash. Yeah. You're right about that. Yeah, the low spots are where we are refined. Yes, we're honed. That is the low spots are the honing stone, right? The sandpaper that grinds away and gets you down to your essence, sharpens your edge to to what you truly are. You know what I'm saying? Okay, zombie. Yeah, that's the thing I like. Excuse me. The thing I like about being a handyman, I can work by myself. I don't have to have any coworkers working for myself and by myself most of the time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As long as you're passionate about something. Yeah. Michelle. Yeah. What goes on in real life every day. Yeah. Be passionate about life. Wouldn't, yeah. That's great. People came to watch you wipe out on the mountains, Sarge. Yeah. put no effort into nonsense that does not concern me. And that's why people think that we don't care, because we don't, if that bullshit doesn't concern us, we just don't put any, won't give it our attention, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to make friends as a grown up. Yeah, Cash, I agree. Oh, okay, AF. Yeah, that makes sense. Your circle of friends is a triangle. Yeah, I felt that too, Ezekiel. Just alone, not lonely, but alone, even in a room full of people. Yeah. Yeah. Rub some dirt on it and get back to work. Get back to doing whatever the hell you were doing. Yeah. The universe has a grudge against you, Sarge. Yeah. If hard times are a learning experience, I should be Einstein by now. Yeah. Yeah, Rusty. Yeah. We've made it through every shit storm this life has thrown at us, and we're still here. So that says something. Yeah, Rusty. Yeah, exactly, dude. Oh, you're welcome, Cash man. Thanks for showing up, dude. I appreciate you spending the time. I don't dismiss people's time. I value your time. This is part of your life, dude. That you're spending here, engaging and contributing to our conversation, and I really do appreciate that. I'm not even being sarcastic or anything about that shit. Truly, I appreciate your time. So thank you, all of you. For showing up here and devoting, a few minutes of your day to contribute to the conversation here at Gen Thanks. I do appreciate your time. And that's one of my pet peeves today. Nowadays, people just don't value other people's time, right? Your time is meaningless to them. That piece of your life means absolutely shit to them, and that really irritates the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie, but I have made up my mind that I would never do that. I'm not gonna be that person. I appreciate your time. I value your time. Your time is valuable to me. So thank you very much, sincerely. But our time is up. Holy shit. We've been here for 2 hours now. This has been a good conversation. I've got to get ready for work. I'm going to be late, but it'll be all right. I work for myself. So I don't punch a clock. You know what I'm saying? So I will say goodbye to Greasebag, Cashman, Tripwire, Zombie, otherwise known as Mr. Hurst, Bucky, Michelle, AF, uh, Dog Karma, Mangrove. Welcome uh, to the show, Mangrove. Thank you for becoming a member. Mangrove is our newest member today. Metal Gear, Jeff Seven. Metal Gear, you just now showing up. Rusty Doob, Joe P. Who else? Ezekiel, Oliver Rust, Sergeant America, um, Cashman. Who else we got here? I like to say goodbye to everybody. For those of you who are new to the show, I like to say goodbye to everybody, but I got to scroll through the comments to do so. YouTube doesn't give me a quick and easy way to do that. Wayne Beatty, my boy Mike Fleisner, All right. I think I have almost everybody. If I have not said your name, I apologize, but goodbye to you as well. Oh, Tank Ferret. Can't forget Tank. Logan. But if I don't call out your name, goodbye to you as well, and I apologize. JPC, connecting the rabbit holes, contributed a lot to the conversation. Jody did too. Goodbye, Jody. Grizz. A lot of names to try to remember, so you'll have to forgive me. And then YouTube doesn't let me scroll all the way up. They only let me scroll so far. Did I say Oliver Rust already? Joe P. Tripwire. All right. So, I appreciate y'all's time. Thank you for showing up. Been a great conversation. I really enjoyed this one. I enjoy every single one of these conversations I have with y'all. Newt, goodbye, Newt. Um, but thank you for spending time with me this morning. And again, unless work goes a little haywire or something, so don't worry if I don't show up at 8 tonight. It's not a it's nothing wrong with me. Sometimes I just shit'll go sideways at work, and I have to stay late to get the shit wrapped up before I leave. Uh, so we don't leave stuff all ripped apart at the end of the day overnight and stuff. So, but I should be back tonight at 8. Okay, we'll have an evening show tonight at 8, most likely. I've been pretty consistent with the 8 o'clock shows. I do miss one once in a while though. I just don't want y'all to worry if I do miss one. So I'll say goodbye to everybody. Thanks again for showing up, and now you can listen to my spiel. All right. Have a great day, everybody. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support Gen X Thinks by becoming a member, I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. I appreciate all the members down in the banner down here. Their support is invaluable, so thank you very much to all the existing members. I really do appreciate it. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can hit that hype button. The hype button is something new that YouTube has come up with for smaller channels like mine, and I really do appreciate those of you who take a second and punch that hype button for me. It helps out a lot, so thank you very much. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mugs, ball caps, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff. But I'll leave that link down in the description for any of you who are interested. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out one hell of a lot, so thank you very much to those of you who do that. And if you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments. Or you can email us, and the email is genxthinks@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.